it's important to understand that when we're talking about advocacy, that we kind of put some things into perspective. So this particular workshop, we're going to cover addressing the school board. How many of you have been to your school board meetings and actually taken part or voiced your discontent with the situation? And you can, if you have, just give me a thumbs up in your chat box so I know who I'm talking to. If you've ever been to your school board meeting and you've participated, give me a thumbs up icon in your chat box. So the reactions tab, give me the thumbs up. I'm still looking, I don't see one. So by me not seeing one, I want to make sure that I'm interpreting this right. So you all are having issues on your school campuses and nobody has been to a school board meeting? Is that what you're telling me? If you're telling me that, if I'm interpreting that right, put a 1 in the chat box for me. If I'm interpreting that right, put a 1 in the chat box for me. Okay. And I see Brianna, you've been to one. Did you participate? No? Okay. How many of your parents, if your parents have been to a school board meeting and actually participated, put a 2 in the chat box. If they've been to a school board meeting and participated. Oh yeah, Mikey, we know you participated and attended because I was with you. Okay. So this is why the problem is persistent, because you are silent. And I don't know if you're silent because you're embarrassed. I don't know if you're silent because you're scared, but we cannot fix things for you if you're silent. Does that make sense, you guys? If we don't know what you're going through, we cannot adequately address it. I think somebody used the quote from Zora, was it Zora Neale Hurston? If you're silent about your pain, they will kill you and say you enjoyed it. So we are going to get into it because I need you all to be present and to tell people what is happening. So, roles and responsibilities. There are major players in the education game. There is the superintendents, which I'm not going to read the definitions. I'll probably skim over it. If I miss a couple words, you know, don't get mad at me. I'm just saying. We have to understand who the players are of the game before we can adequately play the game, right? So the superintendent is the only employee of your elected school board. So the people who are voted into office to govern the school system that in which you are in, they have one employee. That is the superintendent. The superintendent hires the people in his cabinet, which carry out the programs and educational things that are happening. And they hire the principals, the central staff, and they supervise them in the day-to-day decisions. Let's see. Yeah, y'all can read I'll provide the slideshow for y'all. So the principals, they're the face of the school. That means the representative of the school, right? They lead teachers and staff. They set goals to ensure students meet learning objectives. They oversee schools' day-to-day operations, handles disciplinary matters, which we'll get into that in a minute. Just put an asterisk by that. Manages budget and hires teachers and other personnel. So I know that it says they handle disciplinary matters. That has not been my understanding of what principals do. The vice principals are the ones that handle disciplinary matters. The principals just sit there and they oversee the staff of the school, but they leave it to their VPs. That's why they have sometimes 3 and 4 VPs, and they handle the discipline matters for kids A through G or whatever, however they break it down. When you go into these schools, you have a vice principal that is responsible for you, okay? So vice principals assist with defining and enforcing policies and guidelines for students, staff, and faculty at the school. They are responsible for student discipline. And then teachers. Teachers are responsible for preparing lesson plans and educating students at all levels. Their duties include assigning homework, grading tests, and documenting progress. Must be able to instruct and reach students with engaging lesson plans. We could put an asterisk by that too, because yeah, well, I'm not going to even put my personal into it. Go to the next slide, please. So understanding the game. An elected official cannot be fired. They can be recalled by the voters or voted out. So your school board members, the ones who were elected to their position, it's not as easy. You can't just get rid of them by saying you're fired. If you remember the video from yesterday, the first video, he said Connie should resign because she was up there shopping. He wants her to quit because he knows that he can't just go in there and fire her, right? For school-related issues, you do not visit the city council. You visit the school board. It is important when we're talking about getting our issues taken care of that we go to the right people. A lot of times you'll have people at the school board talking about stuff that's happening in the city. They have no jurisdiction. So it's important that when we start to look at talking about the certain issues that we're having, that we focus on the people who were put in position to make the changes that we're seeking, okay? You have an absolute right to present your grievances before your governing body. Meaning, if you are having the problems that I heard you all express yesterday, you have a right to take that to your school board. What I will say about that is, it's not enough to take it sometimes. It's not a one and done. It's not a, oh, okay, they came this one time and they're gonna go away because we gave them a chance to talk. You said, are these shot? I will share the slides with you guys. They haven't been shared yet though. But it's important, you guys, that when you start to experience issues, that you always take it to your school board to put it on record. What do I mean by putting it on record? You're memorializing that you came before your school board and you told them about a specific problem. And if that problem is not addressed, that becomes the issue, because they are put there to address problems. If they ignore you, you can be like me. I show up and said, it's been 122 days since I've asked you questions about X, Y, and Z. So I'm gonna restate them and I expect an answer to them. And so you continue to build momentum if you keep going and you're consistent, and they know that they're not just gonna get over on you. Each school board meeting has an agenda. Every agenda must be published 72 hours before a regular meeting and 24 hours if it's a special meeting. If your issue of concern is not on the agenda, you have a right to speak during public comment. During your public comment to the board members will not respond, so don't get offended. So there's this stack of rules, the Brown Act, I believe it is, where they have to allow you time to speak during public comment, but they are forbidden from responding to you. And a lot of parents, a lot of times when they come before the school board, they're coming with all this emotion, and they're coming with just this urgency, and they start to get upset when people don't respond to them. And so it's not that they don't hear you, it's that they are technically not allowed to speak. Can we go to the next slide? Thank you. So when you go to the school board, here's some helpful presentation tips that I've kind of gotten out of all the advocacy work that I do, and I tried to simplify it as best as I could. So write down the issue that you want to talk about. What you will notice is when they call your name and you step to that podium, you will be nervous. And sometimes your nervousness can get the best of you. And so instead of trying to go up there and wing it, write down, even if it's bullet points, it doesn't have to be a paragraph, but write down some bullet points that you want to make sure to touch on in your advocacy or in your presentation to them on that day. You have a time limit. Normally, in some school districts, it's 3 minutes, and some it's 2 minutes. And if they're really, if there's a lot of people who want to talk, sometimes they will put it down to 1 minute. So you are on a time limit. So be cognizant of that. Learn to speak their language. And the reason I say this is you won't go into a room full of Spanish speakers speaking English and expect them to understand you, right? So when you go to a school board, you're going to have to learn to master the way that they speak. And then you can put your flair on it after you've mastered how they speak. So it's important that you kind of listen to how other people are presenting. A lot of times you will hear superintendent so-and-so, or good evening school board superintendent so-and-so, and whoever the administrative assistant or the clerk of the board is, they'll mention that person. And then they'll start with my name is. So just listen to how things are presented so that you don't go up there and be like me, and I just get up there and wing it because I don't got time for introductions. I got 3 minutes and I got some stuff I need to get out. So I don't normally, go into all that. You must practice to get your nerves out. It's inevitable. You are going to be nervous because all eyes will be on you. The school board meetings are taped. You know what I mean? So just understand that you're going to be nervous. So it's in your best interest to practice what it is you want to say. Practice in the mirror. I forgot to put it on this slide, but you got to dress the part too. It's important. That's part of their language. I know sometimes you'll pull up videos of me speaking at school boards and I'm in t-shirts. That's just what it is. My hair is mostly combed all the time, but sometimes I wear the shirts to convey a message that I don't think that they're listening to. So I will show up with the Stop Criminalizing Black Children t-shirt. I will show up with this shirt. I match energy, so you decide how we about to act. I carry my message on my chest just because I'm not always going to say it, but I want them to read it and they understand where I'm coming from. Project your voice. I understand that there's a microphone in your face, and a lot of times either we're yelling in it or we're not speaking loud enough. Project your voice. Stand flat-footed, confident, and project your voice, because there's nothing worse than getting up there and nobody can hear you because you weren't talking loud enough. But don't yell. Don't yell. Make the issue you are discussing personal. Include examples. For example, yesterday, when I think it was Chloe was talking about the issue she was having with one of the coaches or two of the coaches on the campus, she was able to provide details about what happened to her. If you want to make this issue something, you have to provide details. Do not be afraid to provide details, because only you know what you experienced. And the way that other people get a grasp on what you experienced is if you tell them how you felt, what it did to you emotionally, mentally, how it's affecting your sleeping patterns. You got to go into all that, because that's the only thing that sometimes people will hear, because I don't know why, because they're crazy. Anyway, use statistics or data. So yesterday, when you watched the video of Jerry Monroe, he said that he had to pull the records request, the public records request. Normally, you do that because districts do not divulge information freely. And so you submit the public records request to get the information you need to drive home the point. It's not enough to go in your feelings. You have to come with data. You have to come with a pattern of or conduct of behavior. And once you're able to establish that, they can't argue with it. Like he said, I'm gonna cause problem after problem just by simply telling the truth. We can do that. It helps to research the topic before you speak about it. So in Chloe's case, and I'm sorry, Chloe, I'm picking on you, I'm sorry. But in Chloe's case, Chloe would look into whether this issue is pervasive with that coach. Chloe would look into how many people have complaints about that coach. And Chloe would get in front of the school board and said, look, I've been doing research on this topic. Personally, I know 5 other people who have had complaints about this coach. This is this coach's demeanor. This coach is mean. She doesn't listen to students. She doesn't care about their health and safety. Like, I would go all into it, but you get the gist of it. You have to establish a pattern of conduct. And you can only do that if you're present, aware, and you're doing your research. 7, change isn't always immediate. So you have to remain consistent. I've been operating in this space consistently for 3 years. Do I get everything that I want? No. Do I get most of the things I want? Hell yeah. Because they want me to go away. They want me to be quiet. And they figure the way to shut me up is to give me a little bone here and there. But I ain't going nowhere until all the issues that you all are facing are mitigated, period. And so they have to deal with it. Next slide, please. So this is a sample of board agenda, and we condensed it because we wanted to. And if you notice, there's a open session, there's a Pledge of Allegiance. I don't personally stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't do the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't know if that's your personal thing that you like to do. But for purposes of this agenda, I was just being a rebel and I crossed it out. Sorry. Not sorry. And so we kind of did this mock agenda. And as you see, in the first speaker is going to be Aaron Burr, because y'all seem like y'all was lit off Hamilton yesterday. And then we got, Eliza is the speaker on the 3rd issue. And then we got Hercules Mulligan coming in on the 4th issue. And down here, all the way at the bottom, you have public comment. Now it's changed because now we're not meeting in person. So with it changing and adapting to what we're faced with now, certain things have changed about school board meetings. So now they're on Zoom. Now you can't speak for yourself. You have to submit public comment in writing and they will read it for you, which, I don't know, it doesn't really have the same impact as you getting up by yourself, but you have to operate within the system that you're given or within the perimeters that you're given at a given time. So, and I should have probably pulled the board meeting where they read my comment, and it was just like, she was trying to say it in my voice, but she not me, so it didn't come across right. But once we get to a point where we're able to really go back and I can get in there and get in their face again, I welcome that. So next slide really quickly. And so normally when you go to a school board meeting, they have a public comment card. It's normally in the back by the agendas. And so they normally look like this. They ask you your name, they ask the date, they ask, do you live in the district? If so, and I forgot to put it on there, if so, what school do you or your children attend? What item are you wishing to address on the agenda? Or if the item is not on the agenda, which I didn't really always read the agenda, I would just put public comment. So for purposes of this exercise, the item that you're wishing to address is labeled number 5, public comment. Okay, so I want you to get out a piece of paper and I want you to fill out your public comment card. I want you to put your name, your date of birth, do you live in the district, and for purposes of this exercise, y'all all live in the district because it's BYLP Unified School District, and you're wishing to address public comment. And that's item number 5 on the agenda. And what I didn't put on here is sometimes they will ask you what you are going to speak about. In my opinion, it ain't none of their business. Give me my 3 minutes. Right? They don't have to know what you're going to speak about. Just know you're speaking on public comment. So I never, unless I have to because of the virtual world, normally I would never tell anybody what to expect to come out of my mouth because I don't want them to have a clue. I want them to be surprised. I don't want them to try to talk me out of saying what I'm going to say. School districts do not want the smoke. I'm be honest with you. They want everybody to be chilling. They've asked me to stop emailing them, to just call them directly. Please put it in writing, whatever you're going to do. So the way that BYLP works is when a family submits a complaint via our website, that complaint comes to our inbox, and either I'll check it or Jada will check it, and we'll look into what it is that they're talking about. As tangent, but listen. So we have mock school board at 1 o'clock. What do you want done about it? And then I need you to write it out. You can give yourself bullet points. So you have your introduction. You could say, because I don't know who your board members are going to be right now. I think Selena Valencia is here. I think Mike is here. Candy's here. Steph is here. I'll probably be up in there. I'll try not to be the president of the school board. You going to be president? Jada said she's going to be the president of the school board today for y'all. So I need y'all to, again, describe. Miss Tanya's here too, so y'all going to have a full school board this morning. And our job is to listen to you as you explain or as you detail the issue that you're having, and you tell us what you want done about it. So your introduction, you could say, good afternoon, my name is, I am coming to you to talk about X, Y, and Z. And you give me at least 1 or 2 details about that issue, or explain it in detail. And then at the end of it, I want you to tell me what you want done about it. And then be like me and be like, and I expect an answer, because they're not going to say nothing to me. So I expect an answer. And so I will see y'all. I need y'all to write it down. Y'all will have 3 minutes to present your issue and to put everything that you need to be in that situation. I need everything put into that 3 minutes to the best of your ability, so that we have a well-rounded issue to discuss or to think about. This will be taped and it will be up on the website. So make sure y'all come with it. And don't worry about how you saying anything. If they got a problem, they can come talk to me. They're not going to, but if they got a problem, they can come talk to me. And so we're going to make sure that they know that these issues are real to you. They know what it makes you feel like to be in this hostile environment, what you would like to see done, and that you expect them to respond to it and fix it. Okay? Yes? All right, cool. Does everybody have to present? Who said that? Who asked that question? Alex? Yes. We're going to go through as many as we can get through to get that 3 minutes. We want to make sure. You said no, it's your sister? Wait, what? She is no, my sister. Who? Girl, what you talking about in the chat? We want these people, we want these folks who think that you guys, are not articulate, that you don't know what you want, that you don't know what you're talking about. We want them to see that you know exactly what you're talking about. We want you to put their behavior on blast, so that then we can start to mitigate some things for you. And I need y'all to be intentional. I need y'all to be unapologetic. Like I said, they say something, they're going to have to deal with me. And I want the smoke, straight up. So I will see y'all back at 1. Have your statements ready. And Jada's going to lead the charge. And the adults who can come back, because our children need us to be present and to listen. All right, so 1 o'clock. Oh, are we doing a Kahoot at 12:50? No Kahoot today? Oh, Jada said no, she hating. Did we get, oh, okay. And then she said if y'all in early, she'll do one at the end. So we'll see. We'll see what y'all talking about. Yeah. All right, see y'all at 1.